Welcome viewers, this is Media Track and we are on episode 34 and with me this week is Ashley Rosario. Ashley is a senior editor with the Goan. This week we've sort of discussed the stories of the past week and we generally focus on a big news story that happens in Goa, but we'd like to take a little broader view of the news because right now what is really making the headlines is the coronavirus. And let me just briefly look at the worldwide figures. So the pandemic threatens an economic crisis as well as a health crisis. I'm reading to you from The Economist, and both will need fixing. The disease is in 85 countries and territories, up from 50 a week ago. So more than 95,000 cases and 3,200 deaths have been recorded. So, Ashley, I was wondering, now since things are very serious right now, even in India we have already had 30 cases. In most of them have been detected from North India, if you look at the figures. So India's COVID 19 cases, COVID it is called now, COVID-19 cases rises to 30. That was on reported on
last night.
That is on Friday. And in Goa too there was a coronavirus scare, as 2 more people have been quarantined. So how are we prepared to cope with this? Do you think Goa is prepared? Because they're talking of, Goa steps up efforts. 2 travelers were quarantined, and then you have the report I'm looking at the Times of India, which says that a quarantine facility has also been opened up at the TB hospital in Margao. And 24/7 helpline has been set up, and the health minister has talked about a 30-bed isolation ward in GMC itself. So how prepared are we to tackle this?
I don't think we are prepared if a case actually gets detected in Goa, basically because right now this is all suspects being quarantined, and none of them have been proved to be positive. All the cases that they have quarantined so far have been negative. But I think the scientific and the medical aspect of it, how aware are our doctors in the GNC, in the primary health centers, in the private hospitals, of the things that they need to do first to treat, which I don't think there is in Goa. And second is to prevent infecting themselves.
But they are talking of the WHO having issued all these instructions and which the government is following, and I'm told, in fact, I was watching some programs that India is quite competent at the moment to handle it, but I don't know, because our public health services are nothing to write home about, so to speak. And for Goa, in fact, there have been these very contradictory statements. Michael Lobo has talked about a lot of tourists coming down to Goa because they're being, they are literally running away from other destinations and coming to Goa, which is a safe destination. But at the same time, there is this report, if you, I don't know if you saw it, that travel companies in Goa are right now getting huge cancellations. And they're doing more refunds than bookings. So how do you think we are going to be able to cope when it actually hits the tourism industry?
I think we won't be able to cope with it. It will hit. It happened in Goa in 18 years ago when SARS created a similar scare. Not as large a scare as coronavirus is, but it was a scare, and industry was affected in Goa. But this is something that is inevitable. A disease that is a infection that is like spread now, almost a pandemic, is spreading so crazily across the globe. is bound to impact business, is bound to impact travel.
Yeah.
Because countries are issuing advisories asking their citizens not to travel
to other countries.
2
Yeah, but
dozen,
then
3
you know,
dozen countries.
yesterday I was watching this BBC report, and that's exactly the question that was asked to this medical expert. Should people be traveling at this time? And his advice was, go ahead, have your holiday, but stick to those destinations that have been okayed by your government, where they're saying it is safe to travel, because you know, you're getting these totally sort of bargain tickets,
Yeah.
total rock bottom tickets. In fact, there was one which said that you can travel across China for $15 these days. I mean, nobody is going to go to China, obviously, but they were saying that don't get into a panic mode. And also they also talked about how China, which was so badly affected in the initial stages, has now managed to contain the numbers. So what they're saying is this is spreading from country to country as people travel, but each country is doing its bit and it's trying to contain it and keeping it within the boundaries of their countries. So what do you think what effect this will have on the tourism industry in Goa?
It will have an effect unless, like SARS, they manage worldwide to contain its spread.
Yeah.
But I don't know for simple reason that nothing scientific is coming to say that there is a cure found.
Yeah.
Okay, there's no treatment as yet.
Yeah.
It is just that they manage the symptoms.
Yeah.
They manage the symptoms clinically, and the immune system creates antibodies and they fight. Those who can't die.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how the disease is playing out medically. So I can't really predict whether. See, this season is almost coming to an end.
Yeah,
Another 2 months and the season is ended. Then you have that monsoon gap. You have that monsoon gap where foreign tourists will not be coming to Goa.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have time. So within those 6-7 months that are there now, if globally this threat is brought under some sort of control, then Goa may not be affected as badly as it otherwise would.
Well, we hope that there's going to be better news than what is going on right now. But to just move on to another very...
Devika, before we move on to the next subject, I would like to point out the story that we carried on the the Goan today, where these techie kids from Padre Kosesa who participated in a hackathon in BITS Bilani in February have developed an app. Okay, they have developed a corona tracking web app.
Oh,
it's a global.
That sounds really good. Screening of all international passengers.
Yes, no. This is like basically to show it will if you use that app, it will put up a heat map of the world.
Oh, I see.
And it will show you exactly. It will blink where countries are endemic. Okay. Where there are no this thing. Then it will also, give you the geographical locations of clinics worldwide and localized. So it's a very interesting thing. You
have it at your fingertips, literally, which countries not to go to, and if you are caught up in any one of those countries, you can access one of those places. Well, that's really a good thing to know. Anyway, so moving on to the other story we were looking at is the riots in Delhi, in northeast Delhi, which we will touch on briefly because the riot toll has climbed to 53. That is on this Friday. And still a lot of videos are emerging, and the one that has emerged recently and which the government has been highlighting, the Delhi police has also been highlighting, is of the mob that targeted the cops, and one cop was killed. In that attack. Also, the AAP councillor who was wanted, Tahir, he surrendered himself in court, and he was arrested. Now the thing is, there was also the case of the judge Muralidhar, who was abruptly transferred the very next day after he
pulled up the government.
And the police for not doing enough to stop the. So there is this very interesting photograph which we will put up for you, which shows the farewell for Justice Muralidhar, and he just about every lawyer turned up for it, and the corridors and the lobby and everything was packed with, so just shows how one judge who has stood up for what is right, for justice, has evoked so much respect. Now to go back to those riots, Ashley, I just was a lot of cases are still pending with the courts, etc. But there was this very interesting article by Sudhir Kakar, who incidentally is a psychoanalyst who lives in Goa, in Benauli, and he talked of, he says from the studies of riots the world over, it is vital for their prevention is the effective deployment of force by state in the first 12 to 24 hour lull between the first incident and the major outbreak. But he also talks of the dark side, there is the dark side, in any conflict there is this dark side, and its twin, he says, is the communal dark side. I thought he made this very interesting analysis. Anyway, so I was thinking now we could move on to another story, which is the Zilla Panchayat elections, Ashley, which has a lot of local flavor, adding a lot of local flavor, political flavor in the newspapers, which I find very, very exciting actually. As a journalist, 345 nominations received for 50 seats. So would you take us through, Ashley, about the sort of stories that are playing out in this Panchayat elections, the politics playing out in it? Yes.
See, there are quite a few stories playing out. For number one, we must understand that this Zilla Panchayat elections is being fought on political party lines.
Yeah.
The last time it was done, the BJP fought on political party lines.
Okay.
But the Congress didn't.
They were the only party to stand
on their party symbol.
Okay.
The Congress didn't last time.
Yeah.
This time, almost every party is fighting on its symbol. Okay. So that will be interesting.
Yeah.
That will be very interesting, number one. Number two, it seems to be BJP on one side and the others kind of, joining hands, whether formally or informally. It seems like that way.
Yeah.
None of the other parties have fielded in all the constituencies.
Okay, so of those 50 seats, how many is the BJP contesting?
They are contesting all 50.
All 50?
Yeah, 25 in the north and 25 in the south.
And no
except
alliances.
I think a couple, no alliances.
No alliances.
Except a couple of places, maybe in Govind Gaude's constituency, they have left it to Govind Gaude and not fielded the BJP candidate. But generally they have fielded in almost every seat.
Yeah.
One. So they are on one side.
Okay.
On the other side, you have Congress, which has almost reached about 32 or 33 seats.
Okay.
I don't know today whether they have whether they have gone higher than that.
Yeah.
Then you have AAP that has put some 13 or 14 seats. You have MG that has put about 9 or 10.
Okay, so I've been reading from your reports and other local papers that there is a kind of understanding between MG and Congress.
Yes.
Now, will that benefit them, or do you think it won't matter? What do you think is the...
It will matter. It looks like it will matter for the simple reason that they don't have areas that overlap.
Okay.
Okay, like for example, the MG has its Ponda belt influence where the Congress is not strong.
I see, okay.
Then you have MG also attacking a few places in Perne, a couple of seats in Perne.
Yeah.
So where the Congress is weak, the MG is strong, so they are leaving it to the MG.
But strangely, Ashley, I also read this thing where Goa Forward, which is, in this huge fight with the Congress, has actually backed 2 Congress candidates.
Yeah.
I read it somewhere in the morning papers today. So is that also happening, that the Goa Forward is actually willing to back Congress candidates, or is this just some little?
I think that is more a decision not as Goa Forward, but by the individual MLA
okay.
in that particular area, because Goa Forward, their main strength is Vijay Sardesai's Fatorda, which has no Zilla Panchayat elections.
Yeah.
So the other two MLAs, that is Saligaon and Sioli,
Yeah.
they are the ones who are taking the decisions, and they are backing the winnable candidates from their particular areas.
Okay.
Because for them, the Congress, as of today, for these two MLAs, the Congress is not the threat, the BJP is the threat.
Okay, so the other interesting factor that I found was this, report that says candidature tussle sees BJP take on BJP for many South Goa seats. Now there was also the talk that the BJP, the current BJP, which is sort of infiltrated with so many Congress MLAs, is actually putting up more Congress candidates than actual BJP Karyakartas, and this has caused huge churn within the BJP.
That aspect would be interesting to watch. It
True.
would be very interesting to watch. But knowing the BJP and knowing their Karyakartas and the way their leadership cracks down.
Okay, so you think that they will be disciplined to
some extent, because it won't be as bad as the other parties. It won't be as bad as Congress, because Congress, you deny a ticket and he's contesting as an independent.
Yes.
I don't think too many of the BJP Karyakartas have rebelled and contested, except for half a dozen in a few places.
Yeah.
But having said that, they have not rebelled, but will they support these new Congress entrants and their candidates in those particular areas is something to be watched. Okay.
So where is this happening the most? I think it is happening.
It's happened in some.
Kepe, I presume.
It's happened in south.
Yes.
It's happened in the east. That is your Bicholi.
Oh, I see. I thought it was mostly in Salset.
And it's happened. It's happened in Bardes.
Okay.
Okay. So for example, Nilkant's constituency of TV. You had that BJP MLA of the previous term who was defeated, so he's rebelled.
Okay.
He's pitted, I think, his wife against Nilkant's candidate.
Okay.
So these things are bound to happen.
So now the elections are to be held on the 22nd of March. So we have quite an exciting run up till then. A lot of Zilla Panchayat news to come. So I think we'll move on to the next story, Ashley. And that is the whole mess Goa is in right now over the Mahadai issue. And the Supreme Court has rejected Goa's plea to stop Karnataka's work on Mahadai. So, Ashley, since you've been so well versed with this, can you explain to us what has got us into this mess that we seem to be unable to extricate from?
I don't think it's a mess. The problem is, I think there's too much of rhetoric going around on this Mahadai issue, because if we have lost, we did not lose now. We lost in 2018.
Okay, so you're saying the case was already lost in 2018.
We've lost the war. We've lost the war with the tribunal award permitting Karnataka to divert 3.9 TMC from our basin, from Mahadai basin to the Malaprabha basin. See, the problem is neither Goa, Karnataka nor Maharashtra had a problem if you were using the water within the basin. Goa has not objected to Karnataka using any amount of water, provided they use it within the basin. But the problem comes to this diversion of 3.9 TMC. They were asking for 7 odd TMC to be diverted. The tribunal granted only 3.9. Okay. Now, when the award was passed by the tribunal in August 2018, everybody hailed it as a victory, which is shocking. Okay.
But now
I don't know whether that was orchestrated.
It's some 9 TMC now, isn't it?
No, it's 14 odd TMC that Karnataka has been allotted. But out of these 14, only 3.9 is for diversion. The problem is that 3.9 diversion one. The rest which they are using for that hydroelectric power plant,
Yeah, yeah.
the water will be recycled in the within the basin.
Yeah, but now just look at the Chief Minister's statement. He says, the Goa Chief Minister, Pramod Sawant, says he will expose Karnataka's violation of the law, whatever, of the award. And yet, your newspaper has this headline saying that Karnataka allots 500 crore for the
In their
Kalsa
budget.
Bandura project.
In their budget.
So Karnataka has already gone ahead as if everything is already sort of done and sealed, and they couldn't care less. That has been their attitude, and I think it is also got to do with Goa's decreasing influence in the central government.
There's that doubt is there. The fact that Goa sends 2 MPs, Karnataka sends 28 MPs.
Yeah.
Obviously, Karnataka will be of more importance to the government at the center, to the political executive at the center.
Yeah.
But the problem is you have a tribunal here.
Yeah.
How much can the tribunal be influenced by political? And this was a tribunal that was set up by the UPA government.
Okay. The tribunal was set up when exactly?
2011 or 10.
2011.
2010.
So we are like 10 years after that.
Yes.
Yes.
So 2010 the tribunal was set up. It was set up when you had a Congress government in Delhi, a Congress government in Goa.
Yeah.
And so terms of reference and all that stuff for the tribunal was set up by a Congress setup.
Okay.
Okay. So you cannot say that that politics has had so much of a impact on the tribunal.
Yeah.
Okay, but as far as Karnataka being rogue and trying to divert in violation of the award, that is something that is taken care of in the tribunal award, because the tribunal has set up a joint authority, monitoring authority for the implementation of that award.
Okay.
Now, as far as the news that is coming out about Made, these are only statements. No one has analyzed the award till date.
Okay.
And the people who were really serious about Made in Goa are quiet. They are not making any noise because they know that they lost the major war in 2018. Like Nirmala Sawant, Rajan Kirkar, these were the people who were on the ground.
Original Madai Bachao
exactly,
Andolon.
and they raised the pitch in 2007 and 2008 when they questioned Karnataka's work in Kalsa and Bandura. So we've lost the war in 2018. These are small battles that these politicians are raising just to divert the people's attention or whatever.
Anyway, Ashley, I'd like to just move to a story which I thought was quite, in a sense, quite disturbing. It talked about Goa becoming the cancer capital of India for women. And the story was in your paper. And it reported that blood cancer is prevalence in Goan women is much higher than the national average. And the other very alarming figure I thought was around 200 cases of breast cancer reported in Goa every year. And in fact, I did see an editorial, I thought, in your paper today about this. Why doesn't the government's health department look at this more closely? So this report came from Dr. Akshay Karpe and Dr. Judith Das, who are supposed to be cancer specialists. So how did they come to this conclusion? Are these figures really that?
That breast cancer cases and the rise in breast cancer cases was of concern in Goa is being reported periodically.
Yes, I've heard that before too.
Because I remember almost a decade ago, doctors from the GMC themselves had raised an alarm about this thing. It's basically because of, they say it's because
late
of
marriages.
Late marriages, late
childbirth, giving birth to
they say
children
that is
late,
one reason that is being cited.
That's true.
So Second reason is, they say, is the food that we eat.
Food?
You know, the stuff that we buy from markets. We don't know what are the qualities. We
Okay.
don't know whether there are fertilizers on our vegetables. We don't know whether there are pesticides
But
on
then
our
that
vegetables.
should be common to all Indian women, shouldn't it? Why does Goa stand out in this case?
Because I'll tell you why. Because most of Goa's food is
Yeah.
imported.
I see.
Okay, in many of the other states, like Karnataka, for instance,
Yeah.
they are self-sufficient in most of their
But
food
then
grains.
aren't we importing food from Karnataka itself?
Yeah, so
from
what?
Belgaum
So where
and
is the quality check on that? There's no quality check on that. And people who you know, when it is the level of contamination is less when
Okay.
you are producing there and consuming there.
Okay.
When you're producing in one place and you know, transporting it 500 kilometers, 600 kilometers away, you are using preservatives, you are
Okay.
using all that stuff. So there is no health FDA kind of a check on any of this
Yes,
stuff.
I know. But anyway, I believe that we do need more scientific evidence to support these
Yes, yes,
you know,
claims.
claims
I
that
agree,
are
I
being
agree,
made, and I'd
I
like
agree.
to see a bit more of that. On that note, I think we've come to the end of our time. Thank you, viewers, for watching, and see you next week.